The US government just designated Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. And I reached out to extremism and national security experts to find out exactly what this means. But first, some context. Antifa is literally just an ideology, a philosophy that means anti-fascist. There's no organizational structure here or a leader. But Trump designated this ideology as a domestic terror organization through an executive order, in which he claimed Antifa is a, quote, militarist anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government, law enforcement authorities, and our system of law. He claimed this ideology, this philosophy, somehow uses, quote, illegal means to organize and execute a campaign of violence and terrorism nationwide to accomplish these goals. The order specifically highlights that this includes efforts to obstruct ICE, which makes me very concerned about how this could be used to further crack down on protests. On top of all of that, they say this order will be implemented consistent with applicable law, which is very interesting considering there is none. As Jess Davis, the president of Insight Threat Intelligence and an internationally recognized expert on terrorism, put it, based on that wording, the US government will either be, quote, ignoring laws or this won't be implemented. On top of that, Steph Carvin, a national security expert and former CSIS analyst, told me the US government would have better luck listing Paw Patrol as a terrorist organization, because Antifa is not an organization. Paw Patrol has a more defined structure. Carvin told me it's basically like listing environmentalism, but this doesn't mean they're not going to try. Amarnatha Marasingham, an expert on extremism, also told me, quote, US law doesn't have a framework for labeling domestic groups as terror organizations the way it does foreign ones. And this is where things get pretty scary in terms of US democracy. See, Carvin told me that in the past, US national security and law enforcement agencies have been really hesitant to label domestic extremist groups as terrorists, or to share intelligence on these individuals no matter their ideology, even with close allies like Canada. This is because the US prioritized free speech. So this move, Carvin explained, quote, should be understood more broadly as a campaign to crack down on any kind of dissent and frame opposition to Trump administration policies as terrorism. In that sense, it is dangerous. Even if it doesn't succeed, they will ruin people trying.